What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mike. I am a part-time reseller on eBay and a part-time YouTuber on YouTube. Good morning to everyone. You may not be watching this in the morning, but it is the morning of November 7th, 2023. It is earnings day for eBay, which is later in the day when eBay announces how we're doing. And I got to thank all you guys, all the subscribers, all the returning viewers, and new subscribers. Since the last video, we are past 300 subscribers already. It's insane. You guys are amazing, and keep doing your thing. If you enjoy the video, like, comment, share, hit that bell notification. It's pretty amazing that you guys, are liking this so much. I really appreciate you guys. Not much else can be said, but thank you. Just let you know, in this video, I'm just going to be talking how I feel truly about what eBay is doing right now and my thoughts and everything. And it's going to probably turn into a rambling fest, but I think there's a lot to be, discovered here. So please stick with me the whole way, and I think you'll enjoy everything. All right, let's go. All right, so let's break down my totals since the last video. The 7-day total that we're on averaging right now is at $891. Just 2 days ago, that 7-day total was over $1,000 for sales, so pretty awesome. And over the year now, we are at $21,082. So it just keeps climbing and climbing, and we keep grinding and grinding. So I'm currently in the midst of my second reset during this month with some of those tests I was telling you I was running about the 2% reset for promotion and the 10% reset for promotion. I'll get to those, I believe, on my next video, some of the results and some of the sales of that. This video, I wanted to focus a little bit more on something that's been kind of like on my mind, and only because I feel like everyone has talked about it, everyone's still talking about it, and everyone's trying to crack the code. Everyone's trying to figure out a way to game the system. What I'm talking about is AI, search engine, everything like that on eBay that brings your item to the forefront for the user to find. So sometime during this year, eBay implemented new stuff on their search engine. They implemented AI, all this stuff to supposedly help sellers, help buyers connect, and make the transition so much more engaging and helpful. The updates on the search engine and the AI were supposed to somehow connect buyers and sellers to help pinpoint items easier, to suggest items to people. And while that may be something that is going to happen and happen, with a lot more efficiency going forward right now, I don't think any of that really matters. We've gotten to the point now with this AI algorithm trying to figure out, beat the search engine. We're doing and suggesting all kinds of crazy stuff. Now, it first started, with let's go back and look at your titles, let's look at your descriptions, let's look at your photos. Those are all still very important. Maybe not like extremely important, such as description, and I'll tell you why about that later. And then we got into keywords, which, to be honest, keywords I just look at, making a good title. As long as you have a good title, those keywords should still be in there. I did some experimenting with keywords, titles, description, all that stuff, and it didn't matter where I put my listing on eBay, any category whatsoever. As long as I had the keyword in either the item specifics, the description, or the title, I could find it, and it only took about 4 minutes of me posting the listing to find it. So keywords, just make a good title, plain and simple. Put in the title what you're selling. And then, after that, we got into item specifics. The AI needs your item specifics to promote and pump up your items. And I think eventually that might be something more prevalent, but I think that's going to be more prevalent when you have an AI listing system and the AI search engine coinciding with each other. When eBay finally implements their AI listing system, I think that will work great because they're going to work in synchrony with each other. Right now, we have an AI recommendation, best search engine, supposedly, and then us just slapping stuff into a listing, trying to figure out stuff the best way to get visibility. I don't think right now those two things interlock very nicely. Half of the item specifics that they ask for, to be honest, are useless. And when I say useless, one, most people won't even know what to put in those item specifics. So you're going to probably make up whatever you want. I found that if I'm going to put something in the item specific that I don't know, I just put a keyword in again of the item. It has nothing to do with the actual item specific they're asking about. If it says, like, what's the theme of this hat? I will put maybe whatever team it is, or sport it is, or sometimes even just the color of it. Maybe it's something that they're not even asking an item specific about, but I just put that in there as a keyword. Another reason why I say item specifics are kind of useless right now is a lot of that stuff in there that they ask you, no one's looking for that. No one cares what kind of sport usually a hat is. They just type in the team that they're looking for. I mean, to be honest, it doesn't matter what sport. You'd probably be better off putting baseball hat in there because these things, people search them as baseball caps, baseball hats. They don't go football hat. And then we reached a point where people are like, well, it's all because you're not selling good items. And that was the common theme across the board. It must have been everyone that sold on eBay just didn't sell good items anymore. And I don't believe that's true either. Things don't just stop overnight for a lot of people. Now, granted, do people sell crap items? I'm sure they do. Do I have a couple crap items in my store? I'm sure I do. But to suggest that eBay overnight just said, you know what, all these items that are listed on eBay right now, we're just going to leave them there. They're not going to sell because we don't like them. Wouldn't they want to clear them off in a way, let sellers know to stop putting this stuff up? So, I mean, while it's good to look for the best items possible, it didn't seem to matter for half the people involved. They still had items listed that were great items that were not selling. And on top of that, think about it. You can't really run a business model like eBay and then going forward just halfway through the year we'll be like, well, we're not selling these stuff anymore on eBay, but we're not telling anyone either. And we just have a shifting marketplace of what's allowed and what's not allowed on eBay. And oh, hey, next year, now all that stuff we told you we're not selling anymore, we're going to allow that back on eBay again. It would be impossible for any retailer, including small people like me and you, to be able to figure that out. Even the large retailers, one day they're gonna be like, hey, we don't want to do shoes anymore. We're just gonna stop. We're just not gonna tell anyone, and we're just gonna leave this stuff on our servers. It doesn't make any sense. And then you get into the economy. The reason all of our items are not selling anymore is the economy. Now, while I will agree the economy is in the tanks, it doesn't stop people from spending. It may have stopped people from spending in other times of our lifetimes. Right now, people are still spending. You go out anywhere, people are just dropping money like it's being printed still. People are buying stuff from my store that are needs and wants. The whole economy issue doesn't really make sense to why sales would just randomly stop for everyone. The they would have been a slow, steady, decline that you would have noticed. Everyone would have noticed, not just, hey, I went from selling everything to, hey, the economy's bad right now, so everyone just stopped buying. And while there's uncertainty out there of what's going on, people aren't frugal as they once were with their money. The older people might be. I feel like a lot of the younger people out there spend their money on things that make them feel good. It's retail therapy. So even if you are going through some hard times right now, a lot of people use shopping as a way to cope. Is it right? Probably not, but it happens. My sales throughout the entire year have stayed consistent. It didn't matter that the economy was bad. My sales actually only got better as people were saying the economy was getting worse. And a lot of the stuff that was selling was just collection stuff, adding something, a toy that it was a vintage toy, an older item that they finally bought or saw someone was selling. So the economy going forward, if it keeps getting worse and worse and worse, it will have a downward effect, but that isn't the reason why your store or my store or anyone's store may be having issues. I think it only plays a small part in the ultimate thing. Then we get into other micro things that, we need to do in order to get the algorithm to favor our listings. And, we're talking about now possibly changing the name of our images. If you take a photo and upload it to eBay and say you're selling a Batman figure, you're supposed to change the first photo to say Batman figure. And you're also now supposed to potentially, if you get a survey that asks you how things are going, how eBay is doing, that you need to fill out that everything's great, it couldn't be better, that kind of stuff, and then the algorithm will reward you with that. When people get desperate, they will look for everything and anything that potentially will save their business, themselves, whatever the situation is. And sometimes people will refuse to look inside to see like it's their own issues that are causing it. But I think the issue at hand, to be honest, is a lot more simpler than massaging the algorithm. For God's sakes, we are practically at the point where we need to take Cassini out for a dinner date and a movie and wine and dine the algorithm, the search engine, and then hopefully we get rewarded with a nightcap of a sale or something like that. So I think that's to the point of absurdity that we have raised Cassini, the algorithm, whatever, and put it on a pedestal. So let me get back to what my thought would be of why things have gone bad. And I feel it's a very simple reason. So let's go back in time to when I first started reselling. The year was 2023, January. So being a new reseller, you really don't know this from that. You watch some videos, you get used to what you're supposed to do, what you're supposed to look for, how you make a listing, how you ship items. You're caring about the basics. And I started listing, I started selling, and I remember somewhere, I think it's in March, maybe late March, early February, I can't remember. I started hearing rumbles about promoted listings. And being a new seller, I was like, hey, like, I'm making sales. This is great. But what if I promoted my listings? I would make even more sales. I part of me also didn't want someone else to have an advantage on me. So I started promoting not too long after I started selling. I went to I think it was like 2%, 2.1%, whatever. And sales just kept gradually going up, going up, going up, going up. Never even paid attention to promoted listings, didn't care one bit. One time I looked at my stats and promoted impressions started to fall. That was the first time I raised my promoted listings. I bumped it up to 5.1%. Well, guess what happened? After I bumped up to 5.1%, my sales continued to grow and grow and grow and led to the best months I have ever seen during the summer. And people were saying that they weren't getting no sales. There was a summer slowdown, like always, and hopefully it will kick back in. And I never even noticed it. Like, I kept running into YouTubers talking about all the problems on the platform, and I'm just like, man, either I am a guru at this, or I'm not really sure why I'm having so much success. So, fast forward, you keep going. I kept the ad rate at 5.1%. I kept having consistent sales, not like growing the sales, where it was like year or month after month, it kept expanding, expanding. It felt more like it was kept at a certain, I don't know, percentage sales amount, and I was happy with whatever I was making, so I wasn't concerned about it, and I kept selling stuff. It wasn't until, what was it, like a month ago, that I got a counterfeit takedown on my account, and then my store seemed to get kind of shut off for a couple days. Because whenever something happens to your account, I don't care how small or minute or whatever that thing is that affects your account, it seems to always kind of just shock your account into either having no sales or whatnot. And I don't know if it has to do with eBay looking into your account or just the algorithm seeing a black mark put up on your account. I don't know. And after that, I just started listing more and sales came back. Now that brings us to like the eBay reset. And this is a way to look at why I don't think half the stuff even matters on your listing. People talking about how you have crap items you're selling, your descriptions are bad, your photos are bad, your titles are bad, your item specifics are bad. Everything about your listing is bad, and that's why it's not selling. But then you do the store reset, and you start getting all these organic impressions because for whatever reason, it seems like with new listings and reset listings, eBay pumps up your product like organically. They'll place it out there in front of everyone to see for the first 1, 2, 3 days, and then it gets buried. So sales are happening. It doesn't matter what that item is. They're still selling old items, new items, in-between items, expensive items, cheap items. Every item you can imagine sells during the reset. Now, not everyone's having success, and I can't say why or why not because I don't know what their stores look like. I can only base it on a few things, is my store, a couple other people's stores. Let's go back into like the implementation though, and kind of round this out of what I think is actually happening. So if you go back to when people started having issues, April I think it was, when they implemented whatever, the AI or the new search things, whatever they want to call it. A lot of people ran into issues back then when they started having their sales cut in half, or they only got 60% of the sales that they were used to. Now, I didn't run into really any issues. And the reason being is I was promoting. And I remember back then watching a lot of people on YouTube that were hardcore sellers being extremely resistant to promoting. And it wasn't until a while after that a lot of people jumped on the bandwagon of promoting. Now, it's not me, like, I'm not promoting promotions on eBay, but I'm breaking down what I think is happening and why I think promoting is necessary. I'm looking more at the algorithm, the AI implemented. It seems to be less of a best match to match up the buyer and the seller, the best scenario. To be honest, it's acting more like a gatekeeper that rewards people who pay a high ad rate. And this happens to me all the time where I'll look at items I'm selling and I'm not the cheapest item, but yet the pictures of the other items that are being sold out there are very similar, if not this, if not better sometimes. I'm not the cheapest item on the menu, and I'm not the expensive all the time. And in a sea of listings, mine gets chosen. Now, wouldn't you think that Best Match would want to match up someone with the best keywords and the best description and the best photos and all these other things we're talking about? If you look at my descriptions, I don't put anything in my descriptions. I literally put the condition of it, like if it's just like in great condition, then I put see pictures. That's all I do. As far as item specifics go, I'll look at it, and if I know what it is, if it's not filled in already, I might add it in. Otherwise, I don't even really bat an eye at it anymore. The thing I focus most on is title. I try to put the best key descriptive words of the item I'm selling in my title, because at the end of the day, that's what people are searching, your title. And the reason I say that is, like, think about how you use eBay. Put yourself in the buyer's shoes. Say you're going to buy a Pokemon plush. It doesn't matter about your item specifics. You're going to go into the search menu, you're going to type in Pokemon stuffed animal. You're going to type in Pokemon Pikachu. Maybe that's all you put. So you have to have those types of words in your title. Otherwise, people aren't going to find it. It doesn't matter what, the material of it is, unless someone's really breaking down, like, hey, I want a Pikachu plush that's cotton. I want a Pikachu plush that's polyester. It doesn't matter the color either. Like, no one's going to break down a search and be like, I want yellow Pikachu. No crap. All Pikachus are yellow for the most part, I think. Maybe not. The theme of Pikachu. What would that even be? Fighting other Pokemon. And the item specifics only really matter when people break down the little sidebar menu. And to be honest, I've never broken down anything when I've searched. Now, I might be an anomaly, but say I'm looking for something, I'll type in what I'm looking for and then scroll until I find it. And then sometimes I'll do newly listed, sometimes I'll do lowest price, but I'm rarely clicking on, I'm looking for a red polyester stuffed animal that was made in Bangladesh that is 18 inches tall and, you know, smells like roses. I don't know. Like, it just seems a little ridiculous that, one, we're expecting buyers to do that because they're not going to. And we're expecting sellers to bend over backwards and add all kinds of irrelevant things to their listings. To be honest, it's a huge waste of time. Based on some of my test results, it's not scientific, but it comes down to, like I said, having a good title with keywords in it, having items that people want to begin with, and promoting. If you don't promote, yeah, you're going to make sales. It's going to take a lot longer. eBay has put the guard up. They have installed AI as the gatekeeper to make them money. With all the talk about how eBay is losing buyers, losing sellers, they're trying to capitalize right now on not only their buyers, but the sellers, squeezing people. And the only way to guarantee that you're going to make some more money on the platform is putting up the AI gatekeeper that will pick and choose what gets sold, when it gets sold, how it gets sold, and we'll sprinkle in the occasional organic sales. When I turn off all my promoted listings, my store comes to a halt. While I'll still sell stuff, it feels like everything's shut off. And all of a sudden I'll be surprised, like, wow, I got a sale today, or I was able to send out one offer today. Awesome. As soon as promoted comes on, I'm getting, as soon as promoted is turned on at a certain level, you start seeing a lot of activity on your store, sales, offers to send out. So like if you're promoting at 2%, it's pointless. I would say if you're going to promote at 2%, don't even bother promoting at 2%. The higher you go, the better chance you have of your item being seen. It doesn't correlate always into sales, but the more your items are out there being seen, the more chances you have of being sold. And a 2%, think about 2% chance of anything out there, not very good. But the impressions skyrocket as you go up and up and up and up. When I used eBay's recommended settings, which were kind of crazy, my store felt like I didn't need to do anything. It was just running on autopilot, but I was also paying a fortune in fees. I'm thinking like maybe somewhere around 6.1%, 7.1% might be a sweet spot. If you don't want to do a whole bunch of jumping through hoops and you just want to sell stuff, that might be the way to go. All right, well, now that I rambled on for 20 plus minutes, you kind of get the gist of where my thoughts are on this whole situation. I think we have a lot of overthinking going on. A lot of people just, throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks, and if something works, everyone runs to that and they try it, and then that might not work. And then someone throws something against the wall over there, and then we all run over there and we try that. And everyone has this and everyone has that. And to be honest, the only thing I can say for sure that has constantly worked, one newer than others, is this: consistency. Listing consistently on the platform every day and dotting your I's and crossing your T's, such as good solid title, good pricing, good items, shipping, that kind of stuff. The other thing that's always worked is promoted. Nobody likes to talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about it. Promoted works. Do you have to like it? No. But if you want to survive in the ecosystem that is eBay right now, you have to play the game. eBay has made it apparent, and they're barely even hiding it anymore, that you have to promote in order to make it in the eBay of now. Hopefully stuff happens. Maybe they tweak the system, they change it. Even if it was just changing how they charged us the fees on the final value fees, I mean, anything would go a mile right now. But unfortunately right now, we are dealt the hand we are given. Finding the correct promotional rate, I mean, that's kind of up to you, what you feel comfortable with. The third thing, which is the newer thing that works, is kind of the reprieve, the break from promotion, which is the store reset. I feel if you're doing a store reset, you will benefit immensely organically with sales and, of course, the views and impressions in the first 1, 2, or 3 days of it. If you're not doing a store reset every like 3, 4 days, you need to start promoting after that third day. You can't just do a store reset, let it sit, and be like, job's done, because everything's going to start falling. If you look at any of my videos, if you look at any other people's videos on the store reset, after day 3, 4, everything just kind of tails off and you lose that initial burst of organic traffic. So after day 3, after day 4, you do a bulk edit of promotion. You go from 0, and then you drop the bulk edit of all your listings to whatever that promotional fee is. Maybe it's 7, maybe it's 10, maybe it's 99%, who knows. But in turn, what ends up happening then is you get a semi-reset again. Now you have a promoted reset. Instead of having, all this organic traffic, now you have the algorithm just pumping your store again, but now you have a huge influx of promoted impressions and views, and it's like you just did a reset again. Ideally, I think there'd be some sort of mixture of both, but it seems to be, very specific on what people can do right now. It depends on how many listings you have, how much time you have, how many free listings you still have, size of your store, where you actually want to go with this, how comfortable you are right now with your sales versus where you want your sales to continue to be. And maybe after a while, we won't need to do any of this stuff and eBay just starts working like it's supposed to. Who knows? But I'm going to cut it off there. We're like 30 some minutes into this video, and you're probably done, checked out listening to me. And if you haven't, awesome. Again, a reminder, hit that like button, comment on your thoughts of some of the stuff I said, kind of your experiences on any of the stuff that I threw out there and how you feel about it. Some of you might say, you're insane. This has nothing to do with my store. My store is perfectly fine. And there's going to be case studies of that kind of stuff out there all the time. I can only speak for what I experience and what I feel. And that's kind of why I have this channel, to kind of put out my view on what I feel is going on and how my store is responding to stuff. I wouldn't say it if I didn't believe it. I'm not just talking and making up stuff, but this is what I truly believe is happening right now. But we'll see what those eBay earnings look like. And when I make my next video, I'm going to break down those numbers on my last test run of both resets, tell you what sold during those resets. You'll kind of see a little bit what we're talking about in this video. How promotion can definitely help one way or the other. But that time has come. Like I always say, until next time.
Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, ride up, cowboy! Oh, I forgot. You're broken. I don't